Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. I'm trainer Srinivas from 7th Sense Trainer for today's session. Am I audible? Anyone could help me with that? Okay, I hope I'm audible. In the meantime, you can ask your friends to join so that we can continue with the session. Till then, I have a small question for all of you. For the past 2 to 3 months, you have all of you, most of you have been guided on majority of soft skill topics, right? Yes, sir, I know. Can anyone help me with at least any 4 or 5 soft skill topics that what you have learned or what you have implemented over a period of time? Anyone? At least the topics. I'm not asking you to mention clearly what is that. If you take up mind mapping, don't mention that this is the things that I learned. I just want, let's see who comes up with an answer for this particular questions. Like if you are done the report writing or something or some particular project that what you are done, please let me know. Any like that, can anyone help me with at least the concepts or the topics name that what you have learned over a period of time? Anyone? A small question, like ins- like uh instead of beginning straight away. Not a difficult one, I hope so. Anyone could help me with that? At least I'm audible. Hope so. In the meantime, today we have another very important topic, the resilience. What do you understand by this particular term? Resilience or resiliency? What it might be? What do you think it might be? Anyone could help me with that? What do you understand by this particular term, the resilience? Okay, till then, I'm expecting an answer to the question that what I asked you earlier. The topics that what you learned over a period of time, at least any 4 or 5. Anyone come on guys, I want, and I'm not asking like precisely what are the things and have you implemented that in your daily day-to-day life. I'm just expecting a response for at least the topics that what you have learned over a period of time. At least do you remember the names? Anyone? I would be really glad if some of you comes up with at least 4 or 5 answer to this particular question. Okay, no worries if you have not done that, but at least try to have a look at the things that what you have learned over a period of time. And coming back to today's topic, resilience, what like uh, reports, proposals, mind mapping, taking initiation, taking criticism, all those things you have learned, right? Have anyone implemented that? At least an initial or self-assessment, mentorship, have you implemented anywhere? They were very important, right? Anyone is having an habit to make a to-do list, at least now, by now. If you're not done that, guys, no worries. Try to at least take a small step ahead to reach the goals that what you are understanding to this particular, what can I say, particular term, so that we can plan the session for the next 1 hour. Anyone, resilience is nothing but like when some faces, like when any individual faces a lot of hardships in his or on his life, personal life or professional life, and like he comes out from that particular ash, like in a very strong manner that never like no one had imagined. That is what refers as resilience. Okay, I've seen those kind of persons in your by the attitude that they are having. That is what it refers as resilience. Here it is mentioned as ability to bounce back, take on difficult challenges, and still find meaningful in their life and respond positively to difficult situations. What are the situations that might arise in their particular, what I can say, in the particular life? They will obviously take it as a challenging one. Yes or no? And rise above adversity, cope up when things look bleak, tap into hope, transform unfavorable situation into wisdom, insight, and compassion and endurance. These are things that will be there, or what I can see, the skills of any person who is having a very good resilience. Why do you think like these are very much required? It's so required. What do you understand by this particular term? Like respond to difficult situations, like coping up with some like unfavorable situations. It shows a lot of hardships, right, in one's personal life or in professional life, but still is somehow capable of dealing with those in a very effective way. Yes or no? That is what it refers as resilience. Okay. Anyone, like, do you think like you are having resilience now, all of you? Like all of us will be definitely be having, but the, what I can say, the amount or the resilience capacity like to withstand the hardships, that will be not be what I can say is like the best, or like the best, what I can say, that is not on the next level. That is what we can say. Like some might of you will be like really facing a lot of struggles and trying to do something, one or the other thing, trying to achieve those things. What I can say, like you're really having a very good resilience. Try to keep it for over for a longer period of time, so that one or the other day you will be achieving something because of that resilience. So that skill of resilience is really important. Is there anyone in this world who are like without any hardships, though they might be like what I can say, though he might be Mukesh Ambani or like any richest person in the world, he'll be having his own sorrows, right? He'll be having his own like difficulties. You need to like if he's the richest person in this world, he need to maintain that criteria. You will be having, you should struggle a lot to be there in the same place. It takes a lot of effort, lot of like thinking, lot of what I can say, dedication. For that, the resilience is really required, right? Yes or no? I hope I got, hope you got a definition of resilience. Any doubts? At least I'm audible. And coming back to resilience is that quality that allows some people to be knocked down by life and come back stronger than ever, rather than letting the failure overcome them and drain their resolve. They find a way to rise from the ashes. That is what it refers as resilience. Like it is a, do you think like resilience is a process, or it's a, I don't know, it takes very longer time to be, and it is often assumed to be a trait of an individual, and idea more typically referred to as resiliency. Like do you think like resilience is a very important thing and it takes longer time to like, okay, okay, okay. Oh sorry, okay Puneet, thanks for that. We will reduce my pace. Okay. Do you think resilience is like very much what I can say a longer term process, or do you think it's a short term process? Anyone? What it might be? Anyone? Like, what do you think it might be? Resilience is a longer term process, or do you think like resilience is gives an opportunity to a particular person, like who has been don't or like he's been like, facing a lot of hardships, but over a period of time, he will because of his courage, because of his dedication, because of his attitude, he will somehow come out from that ashes, right? Have you seen any persons like this in your life, or at least have one person who was struggling a lot in the past 4 or 5 years now? He has made a lot of effort and he has like he has come out of a phoenix. They were saying that, right? Yes, sir, I know. Anyone could help me with the response? Hoping for a response. No issues. Any doubts? Okay, I'm audible. At least anyone could help me with, like give me a response for that as well. It'll be I will be very glad for that thing. Okay, do you think like you are having a very good resilience power? Anyone here? Like, do you feel that I am like really very good with resilience and dealing with all those stuff? Like sometimes having a strategy, like when you fail, is really required, right? It will help you out in one or the other way. Yes or no? Or like without having any strategy, is that the best way to deal? What do you think? Like most research now shows that the resilience is a result of an individual being able to interact with the environment process and promote their well-being and reduce the influence of risks. That is what is called as resilience. Now the like tactically what I can say is like more precisely for now for the current scenario, like in this process particularly, like they will be having an individual coping strategies may be helped along by good families, schools, communities that make the resilience more likely to occur. Why do you think like nowadays all of us are being really resilient, right? Why is it so? In a very easier fashion from anyone. Anyone over here who think that yeah from the past more than 20 years, 50 years. Mm. I don't feel that it's an absolutely yes that is mentioned here. Like well as a good policy, the resilience more likely to occur. Yes, sir, I know. Like, see, you as an individual, when you think of, like, what you can say, the communities or like how our thought process was there, like earlier, like when there was any failure, like earlier, what you can say. There was not an easy task. It was not a very easy task to cope up with that and to rise to what I can say from the ashes to the thoughts or the what I can say the goals that what I had set. Not an easy task earlier, but now giving a try, looking at the things that what we can do better matters the most, right? They will each and everyone will appreciate that though we might not achieve that. This is my attitude to give it that again. That is why it is important and it has gained a vast importance over a period of time. And important defense people have against stress involves behavior, thoughts, and actions that can be learned and developed in anyone. Okay, this is that a very easy task. So that it has been mentioned like where you can learn thoughts, behaviors, actions in a very easier way and can be developed by anyone. That is being mentioned by us. Is that very easy task? And it is tremendously influenced by a person's environment. Today, yes or no? Like if you are like having a bunch of people, very good friends, like you'll be like also be acquiring the same set of characteristics, yes or no? In the same way, when you are like very resilient to some things, you will like give importance to more of those things and try to like uh, learn one another thing that has been learned by some others as well. That is what it refers. And this is the some of the 10 ways that we can build a very much what I can say resilience over a period of time. Maintaining good relationship with close family members, friends, and others. I think it is very much required, like having a good rapport with our friends, family, or maintaining a very good relationship. Is it required? Apart from that, also we can survive, right? Or apart from that, also we can have very good resilience over a period of time. We can develop that. But having those, what I can say, a very good relationship between the close members of our family or our fellow friends sometimes helps us out very well, like immensely. We cannot have like any parameter to judge that. That is why it's very important to avoid seeking crisis or stressful events as unbearable problems. Sometimes all of us, like each and every individual, like including me, including you, or anyone, like they'll be having their own sorrows in their life, right? Is there anyone like without any difficulties? No, right? All of us will be like want to do some one or the other thing unique, right? But not an easy task. We'll be having a lot of stressful events. We'll be left with literally no time. We'll be occupied with one or the other thing, which in turn gives us an unbearable problems. Like see, when you're having a very big issue and you are like keeping that in your mind itself or in your heart without like informing to anyone, would you think like it will make you a person who can be like really be calm when you're having one thing like let us take that you are prepared for particular examination, okay, a government like a civil service itself, and you are dedicated like nearly like 6 months of time for that particular examination, and like when the results come, you come to know that you are not cleared, like you'll be feeling really bad, and you'll be having an attitude that how I would inform this to my parents. That thought process, like not to inform, it cannot be like what I can say. That process will be running in your mind for a longer period of time. Though you might feel that informing is not so necessary, but you'll be feeling a regret or you'll be thinking over the same thing again and again. Yes or no? What might be the result of that? Any doubts till now? What is the result? Any opinions? The result might be that we may not be able to look into some other things. We would be like wasting a lot of time on the same thing that what we had done earlier. Not the best way, right? To accept the circumstances that cannot be changed. That is the one thing that we should learn over a period of time. We should accept that we had not cleared this particular time. We should have a move on, right? that is required, and to develop realistic goals and move towards them. What do you mean by the realistic ones? Anyone? Sorry for that. What do you mean by these realistic goals? Like keeping it like and not an imaginary, right? Like which seem to be achievable. That should be not so easy as well as not very difficult, because it is an initial goal that what you have said, that is what is required to take the decisions actions in an adverse situation. That was my and I should cover the topic. And to look for the opportunities to self discovery after a struggle with loss. Obviously an opportunity is required, right? When you are struggling a lot, like when you are underperforming, we would definitely look for an opportunity, right, where we can prove ourselves that we can do better. And developing a self confidence over a period of time is also a really important thing to build a resilience that is being given by the American Psychological Association. And to keep a long term perspective and consider a stressful event. What does it mean to keep a longer term perspective? Like having a vision of a longer term goals and keeping that event in mind and working on that on like a broader, like when you get time, that is what it refers. To maintain a hopeful outlook, expecting good things and visualizing what is wished. To take care one's minds and body, exercising regularly, paying attention to the one's own needs and feelings. This is very much required, because at the end of the day we as an individual should be like really be healthy, right? Like in order to focus on anything, in order to work on anything, to reach the goals that what we have set. That is why very important. And factors that make someone even from these factors, the hardships they make the result of the sorrows, as well as what is that the failures, the positive attitude, optimism, regulate evolution, emotion, and ability to see the failure as of feedback. How to look into very helpful feedback over here. Certain if it has a easy one, to do that, having a positive attitude, think like words were required, having a positive. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, do you think like it is or like do you think like having a positive attitude is very much required? Yes or no? Anyone? uh, and being optimistic is also very much required, right? An ability to see the failures and learn from that and come up with a very helpful feedback. What does it mean, guys? I do think it is a very easy task to look into the failures or think that what is wrong and to learn from that. Someone gives you a very destructive feedback that you are like when you've done anything. Like when you take up an example of a portrait itself. Anyone like who is really good in making portraits. Hmm. Like if you have done a portrait and some one of your fellow friend gives you feedback that or a negative feedback, what you can say is a destructive one, says that the whole painting itself is not the best one. Like do you think like it is a form of a helpful feedback? No, right? It is a destructive one, as the name itself suggests. And the constructive feedback is the one thing where your friend will be clearly be highlighting you what are things what are things that are required. Like the portrait, if there is a what I can say, if like the portrait could have been better if he gives you feedback like making the borders a little lighter and coming up with some shaders, darker shades. Like when it gives you very very precisely that what are the steps that you are going wrong. Like when that is being done, when that is being clearly highlighted, that you could have used the later shades and you could have made the borders a little darker. That is the best way to deal, right? Here you will come to know that what is my mistake and over a period of time you will learn something and it will become, and when you have executed that, like over a period of time you can better become a better person, right? That is why it is mentioned over here. Okay, understood the importance, like how we can learn from the failures or what you can say when someone gives us a feedback. Yes or no? And factors related to resilience, like the primary factor is to have a relationship that provide care and support, create love and trust, and offer encouragement both within and outside the family. This is the first and the foremost thing. And additional confidence and having a positive thinking and developing communication skills and are also like very much required. These are the factors that will be like helping you out over a period of time, and you will gain all those implement the resilience factor. Like when you have that very strong determination that I want to do something or the other, this can be achieved over a period of time. Okay, and a number of other factors that promote resilience. These are the in other like what I can say, still the supplementary or the add-on factors. Okay, the ability to cope up with the stress effectively and in a healthy manner. What does it mean? the ability to cope up with the stress effectively and in a healthy manner. Like sometimes we need to know the art, like how to cope up with the stress, right? Like all of us, like you might be in your academic career, you'll be handling a lot of stress, right? Cannot say no to that. Yes or no? And having good problem solving skills is also very much required, right? Like, do you think like you are all like, though you might be in your academic career, like you are not having any stress? Anyone who feels like that, you are also having a lot of stress, right, guys? Anyone? And yes or no? Like, when you're having a lot of stress, when you're knowing the skill to handle the stress in a very effective way, that means that you will be in a calm state, though the stress levels will be really high. And in terms, it makes you like feel healthy. You're like, I recent survey what I like just gone through like previous week or like some 2 weeks ahead. I just gone through a survey that was being conducted by an organization where it showed that uh, if there is a person who is feeling more stressed, or like what I can say is like he's not at all capable of looking into his strengths, and like he's not at all taking into consideration the effective way to deal with the time management and all those things. If he's not doing it, in turn leads to an increased stress, and when the stresses are increased, it shows that the life cycle or the life expectancy of the particular person will definitely be decreasing from 10 years. Like if he was supposed to live for 70, it would come down all the way to 60 because of the stress. There will be some heart related issues that will be arising over a period of time. Okay, not an easy way, what I can say, task, right? But we can do that only when we have the attitude of resilience and having good problem solving skills. Do you think it is required? Yes, it is an absolutely damn thing that is required for each and every one, right? Like, do you think like without the problem solving skills, without looking or without solving our day to day problems, can we have a very good or a better life? Can we achieve that? A life that what I have thought of, or what I can say, the dream life, without solving the problems that will be arising on our path? No, right? And seeking help, what does it mean seeking help? Like, do you think like we should seek help with everyone, each and every individual? Is it so necessary to have or to take the help? Do you think it is very much required? Like seeking help, it is a very much essential part. Like when you are having someone to guide us, we should take the help from them, because sometimes the experience that they had acquired over a period of time, it matters the most to help us out. Like at least it will help us out. Like one or other way to surely help us out, and holding the belief that there is something one can do, manage your feelings and cope up with that. Like sometimes you'll be having a strong belief that I might not be successful in one particular part. You'll be having a belief that I can somehow survive. I would definitely like achieve one or other thing. That attitude will be having, right. That is only possible only when you have those resilience skills, and when you're having a very good social support and being connected with others such as friends or family, as discussed in the earlier the given by the American psychological team. Like what are the 10 factors that make the resilience in a very effective way? Yes or no? And being connected with others, yeah, that has been discussed, right? And self and spirituality is also required, and having an identity as a survivor is very much required as opposed to a victim, and helping others, that's also some of the things that will make our resilience a better thing, right? And there are different types of resilience. Anyone could help me with that? What might be the different types of resilience that we will come across in our daily day-to-day life? Anyone? Like just anyone could give a guess at least for this one. Let's see like who comes up with at least a guess, or like you can do some research as well. Like try googling and let me see who comes up. Not an easy task to come up with the very right answer for this particular question. Any doubts or like a small question from my end? Different type of resilience. Any doubts regarding the earlier concept that has been discussed, the strategies, there what is resilience and what are the 10 different what you can say, the ways to build the resilience, why it is important, and the factors that will make a person resilient over a period of time. All those things were a discussion. Any doubts? Okay, different types of resilience. Come on, the family resilience, that is one thing. The organizational resilience and the community resilience, cultural influence resilience, and the factors promoting the resilience. All are different types of resiliences that we'll be discussing in the next 20 minutes. Okay, the individual or the personal resilience. What do you think it is? What do you think it might be? Like an individual basis, personal ability to positively cope up after the failure happens, after what you say. That is not key. That's why I can say that that's what personal resilience is a personality, what I can say, a personal for lifetime or personal takes a lot of what I can say, courage, dedication, and individuals do not react the same way as they were in the stressful life event. Sometimes you might have seen some persons will be reacting like in a very awkward manner, like when they are very much stressed, they will like not at all listening to the words that are given by us. Yes or no? Have you come across these situations? An approach to building the resilience that works for one person might not work for another. Is it a true one? Do you think like one thing that will work for one person, we might not work for the other one? Do you think it is an yes or a no? Anyone here? How is it possible? Like if the same strategy is working for me, why cannot we apply the same strategy for betterment of yours? Because each and every individual is unique, right? Each individual, like if I am an individual, I will be having my own goal set. I will be having my own things that I need to have a look, my own like what I can say, career, my own personal life, and the ideas that work for others like might not work for the same for me as well. Because I am an individual, like I am unique, right? And people use varying strategies to build their resilience. Depends upon how they bring it over a period of time, how they develop the attitude. Because resilience can be learned, it can be strengthened over a period of time. And a personal resilience is related to many factors like individual health, well-being, aspects, life history, experience, and the support that they get from their fellow environments, fellow friends, as well as the teammates, as well as the family. These are all things that the individual resilience depends upon. And I think like having a very good personal resilience is very much required, or very good support from the fellow teammates or friends, and the family is very much required to do or like to achieve some one or other thing in your daily day to day life. Yes, it is very much required. And coming to the next part, the family resilience, what it might be. Really hard when it comes to the family resilience part. Is it so essential? Is coping means what? Anyone? Like, what do you understand by that particular coping? Like coping is nothing but like giving head or giving a shoulder. What I can say, that is what reverse as coping. Okay, and And the crisis events and the persistent stresses affect the whole family. Do you think like when someone is so much stressed or someone is like very much like what I can say is not in a peace of mind, the whole family will be stressed, right? And there will be like there will be lot of things that will be going on, and they are posing risk not only for the individual, okay, but also for the relation conflict and family breakdown. Sometimes when there are like some unresolved things and when there is no proper communication between what I can say in a family, there will be like lot of things that cannot be like even imagined, and in turn the whole family would break down one day. Yes or no? Because of the what I can say. Uh, sorry for sorry for really sorry for that. And do you think the end might be a breakdown itself? Because if the small conflicts are not given the tactical end, obviously it will harm you at the end. And coming to the organizational resilience is the ability and the capacity of workplace to withstand significant economic times, systemic risks will be there, disruptions will be there, but we need to adapt ourselves and recover, and like we need to resume organizational, continue to provide an acceptable level of what we can say, performance from our of an organization to rebound effectively. What does it mean? Rebound effectively. The challenge for the incorporation of resilience into workplace is the ability to of an organization to rebound effectively, like for an organization to perform very well, or like to employees of the organization to like have very good thing. They rebound when they need to like rethink, they need to like they make it for a product. So get some that. Please feel the attendance form very much required. Okay, I'll send the first form again, no issues. Please fill the feedback. Okay, it's done now. And coming back to the organizational resilience, the meaning, the measuring, okay, is a screen being displayed, guys. Yeah. Okay, coming back to measuring the workplace resilience involving identifying and evaluating the following. Why do you think like we should need to have a look at the workplace resilience as well? Is it required? A question from my end. It's so essential. Please fill the attendance form. Very much required. Yes sir or no? It is an absolutely an yes. The past and the present mechanisms and the practices that increase the safety. Yes or no? Like we'll be looking for a better light, better performance, better efficiency. Yes or no? As well as a decreased number of errors, reducing the errors to the bare minimum extent, necessary reductancy in the systems, and planning and programming that demonstrate the collective mindfulness and anticipation of potential trouble and solutions to potential problems. These all things can be given a tactical end. Yes or no? That can be done only when we have the attitude of resilience in the workplace. Very much required, right? To give and like increase the efficiency of safety factors and to decrease the what you can say the mistakes or the errors that will be done over a period of time and like to solve the problems that will be arising and to give a solution or to what I can say is like coming up or thinking about what might be the problems that might be coming up on our way and looking for solutions to that. Now it's the best possible way, right? Any doubts? And coming back to the community resilience, it is a community that takes intentional action to enhance the personal and the collective capacity of a citizen and institutions to respond to and influence the course of social and economic social change. That is what for a community to be resilient, it's must be into the practice. They should be having that attitude to learn to look into that and effective action they should take to respond to the changes that are required. Right? It's not like that. Once you will like, it's not an easy task to achieve resilience. Like you should look into the certain set of skills. When responding to stressful events, a resilient community will be like able to strengthen the community bonds, resources, and the capacity to cope. Yes or no? It's an absolutely an yes. And coming to the cultural influence on resilience, what do you think like it might be? Refers to the cultural capacity to maintain and develop a cultural identity and critical cultural knowledge and practices. An individual's culture will have an impact on how the person communicates feelings and copes up with the adversity. And the cultural parameters are often embedded deep in an individual. Like all of us like will be having our own cultural influence, right? We'll be like having some of like own we will be like expecting something from others. Sometimes the bare minimum respect, like when you are like there in some with our friends and all. A personal cultural background may influence one's deeply in how one responds to the different stresses. Sometimes we might be like having different types of stresses, each and every one of us. Like we might not be in a best of the best moods, and we might have end up with some unwanted conflicts as well. That can be given a tactical end because of the cultural influence and resilience and the factors that promote resilience. What might be that? And people who are resilient, like they will be having a very high self-esteem. Do you think it's an yes? And in spite of the challenges they'll be facing over there over a period of time, they'll be facing n number of challenges on a daily basis, like 5 or 6 challenges. But they will like really be what I can say is like they'll be having their own very high self-esteem, right? Why is it so?
Do you think it's an easy task to maintain a self-esteem and to like take the risks that are going on and like, in spite have a very good like come up with an answer to the solution to that and dealing with those deadlines and all those things is not an easy task, right? But resilience gives an opportunity to do all those things. But fostering resilience, people are building psychological defenses against stresses. Like are building or trying to build any like what I can say barrier for ourselves for the sudden changes or sudden stresses that will be arising by having that resilience skill over a period of time or inculcating that. I think it's an yes or a no. It's an absolutely an yes. And the more the resources and the defenses available during a time of struggle, the better able to cope and bounce back from the worst situations the people will go through. Like when you're having a what I can say a plan or a defense that is there, obviously that will like bounce back, right? Yes or no? Like when you have a backup plan or when you are having a what I can say a plan B when the plan A goes wrong, the best way right to come up with what I can say to not to have so much complications. We can achieve something in a very easier fashion. I mean, we might not feel the same stress levels because we're having a plan B going on, and a person's ability to regain a sense of normalcy or define a new normalcy after adverse circumstances will be partially based on the resources available. Sometimes the resources available also plays a major role, right? When the support, like earlier we discussed, right? Some of the key elements or the factors or the things that we need to inculcate to learn one another thing. Like when you are having that particular, what I can say, a very good bond between ourselves and our friends or family, like we will be having a very strong feeling that, and our resilience skill will be like very good. I'm having attitude that though I might be in ashes right now, I will be coming out of ashes, and like one or other day I will make a name for myself. I'll be having that as an attitude. Resilience building can be any time. Like maybe at anytime, like any like 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock is only possible during this like anytime any particular situation is enough to build resilience over a period of time. Only information regarding applicable these different resilience practices as well as sessions that could implement resilience situations that enhance resilience and people who have set goals of resilience. Like they have to have the attitude who like who do particular situation who will inhibit they will take that resilience skill period of time. The same resilience help them to become how they should every time become that is what does it mean? That one nothing one other thing right? Yes or no? To do that we need to learn another thing. Another learning means that we are learning a new skill. And protective factors enhancing resilience and types of resilience. These are it is the ability of an individual to cope with adverse climate change. The optimism, flexibility, responsiveness, these are some of the things that some of the resilience that we're having. Like the optimism, flexibility, I think we are discussing the confidence, competence, perseverance, perspective, self-control, and social identity. And the vulnerability skills or the resilience, poor social skills, poor problem solving. This will come into place when you are like lack of empathy, family violence. It will be like vulnerability will be definitely be there, and you are abusing each other, and there is a breakup. All those things, there will be death and loss, and lack of social support as well. And protective factors for enhancing resilience: social competence, problem solving skills, good coping skills, enhancing. These are the skills that will give us a boost and empathy and secure and being stable. and support relationships and intellectual ability, self-efficacy, and the communication, and the facilitators of resilience. Individuals, parents, grandparents, caregivers, children, adolescents, friends, partners, spouses, teachers, and faith community. They are the facilitators of resilience. Any doubts? Any doubts? Please let me know. I will be available. Thank you for the patient listening for the past 1 hour. Any doubts?